What's up, you filthy casuals? Welcome to the Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast, a podcast all about the irreverent love of gaming. It is bonus episode 8. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremiah, and tonight I'm joined by Papa James.
What's up? What's up?
I'm joined by our little English muffin, Shane.
Hey, guys.
And I'm joined by
our turncoat.
Twitch.tv slash
Twitch.tv slash JWolf82.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, wow, I got that wrong, even though you said it 500 times.
He doesn't use his actual gamer tag for some reason.
It's because it was made
what was it?
beforehand.
What is it, Justin? What is it again?
Twitch.tv slash JWolf8200. I'll
put both of their channels in the links of this podcast. Although, I guess you want your Twitch channel, Justin?
Or because I stream to Twitch and to YouTube, so I stream to both at the same time.
Do you get better engagement on one as opposed to the other?
I use Restream, and they have a nice fancy chat function that works with XSplit beautifully, and so I don't actually know where the interactions come from. I mean, like, I know that it'll tell me if it's somebody's commenting on YouTube versus Twitch, but I don't really register that because it gives me both of them at the same time.
Wait.
All in one chat.
There's a chat thing I could be using in Restream?
Yes. Yeah, well, it's a, and you can tell it to be like on top of everything. It'll be on top of all of your windows.
I'm installing that now.
Yeah, yeah.
On top of everything.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I use, and it works pretty well. Mm-hmm. And then it also has a fun little, like, whenever anybody chats, it will pop up in the stream because, you know, most people who watch these kinds of streams want that interaction in some regard, so that they see themselves talking to you. So yeah, that's what I do.
Nice.
So you can go to either one.
I'm not like good at streaming in the sense of knowing how you're supposed to interact with chat and all that stuff.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I am either. I just do it a lot.
I think you're the pro out of us all, Justin, here. That's sat here right now.
I don't get paid to do it, so I can't be a professional.
Yeah.
As soon as I get paid, so if somebody wants to, fund that, let me tell you about my Patreon. No, I'm just joking.
My GoFundMe.
But if you've seen like the Arma stuff and you want to see what Arma looks like, before all the fancy edits, you can come check out my streams on Monday nights when I do those.
Yeah, you get to see like the cinematic, like everything looks so well coordinated. You see the nun.
You get to see me going, Jeremiah's down again. Hang on a second.
Aw. Yeah.
Jeremiah stopped giving orders. He must be down.
What's up, James?
I like the logo in the background. That's sexy.
Logo? Oh. I see what you mean.
The Manson guitars.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, I just remembered we are doing the podcast. Okay, so this is Casual Shenanigans Gaming.
Yes.
I was still in like warm up mode. I'm tired. It's a bonus episode. It's bonus episode 8. No apologies necessary. All right. Let's start the show like we always do with the rigmarole.
There's no rigmarole song.
I figured I'd wait and maybe somebody would be like, "Oh yeah, we're supposed to do that."
Rigmarole, da-da-dum.
All right,
that works.
Good enough. All right,
how it works.
The rigmarole. You can find us on Twitter at Casual Shenanigans, YouTube Casual Shenanigans, podcast services around the world: Casual Shenanigans Gaming, Stitcher, iTunes, Dogcatcher, Podbean, Google Play Music Podcasts, the one episode on Spotify. You can also find Justin, twitch.tv /JWolf8200, and
nice.
Shane, youtube.com, Ultra XX, Grunt XX69, UR Mom XX.
Your mom mate.
And you can find me playing Wildlands, trying to get the higher classes.
All right, and our main topic this evening is actually suggested by Shane, and it is in regards to co-op. Shane, what would you like to talk about in regards to co-op tonight?
Well, I wanted to talk about how there's a lot of games that just seem to have tacked on co-op, where it's not really thought out, or it's just, it takes over the campaign in a sense, where all of the co-op mode is the entire campaign, rather than having an actual dedicated single player.
Mm-hmm.
And just how there's a lot of unnecessary sort of co-op elements that get put into games that just don't add anything to the game, besides more players.
You have an example of a game that you'd say has very tacked on or co-op, just as an example?
Actually, using your example from last week, Dead Space 3, I'd say that's pretty tacked on.
Really? I wouldn't have said it was, because it you can play with your friends so easily, like you can play the whole game together. Why would you say that qualifies as tacked on? Just out of curiosity.
Dead Space 1 and 2 didn't have co-op, did it?
No,
I don't think so,
didn't.
no.
That's kind of what I mean with that. Like, they sort of just threw it in to have that tick on the box there, whether they designed it around it or not.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
sure,
So
because
you're
I've
saying
played it.
so it's not necessarily a big deal if it's fun. Like, fun is secondary to, does it make any sense for the game to actually have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
I
it
think
can
that-
also be not fun as well.
I think an example of a good game that did co-op would be something like Resident Evil 5, where the whole game was built around having two characters.
Yeah.
And so having that second character be a real human versus AI made it fun for the people playing, and it didn't just feel like they're trying to add this experience that'll sell more, that they're actually try to think it out.
I would say the same thing for like the Gears of War franchise did the same sort of thing. A lot of the sections where they break off was really designed around the idea that you would be playing that in a co-op fashion.
There was a lot of like squad games as well that were designed around having 4 players all times. Kind of, like how Wildlands is now, I guess.
Yeah, or like, I guess a good example, like the Left 4 Dead 2 style model
Yeah.
of, like, it's obviously designed to play with people, as opposed to, say, Dark Souls 1, where playing with someone else is excruciatingly difficult. Dark Souls 2, it's just very difficult, and then Dark Souls 3, it's usable most of the time.
Except when you and I want to play.
Yeah. But I think those would be the definition. Like Dark Souls 2, definition of tacked on. So you can kind of play with a friend, but if you actually want to play together, you have to constantly be monitoring where you're at in the game and figuring stuff out. And you've got to like make sure you have enough items of, I forget the names of what they called them in Dark Souls 2, but I needed this life ring I had to repair every time I died so I could be not undead or whatever. So not because Embered is the third game. So I could invite people in, and like there was a whole lot of maintenance that went into just playing the game with my friend. And I very famously complained about that a lot it's obvious that playing the game with other people was not the primary purpose of them adding that. And that's just other people going, we want to play the game with our friends, because the game wasn't it was fun to play with friends, but the experience of getting into play with your friends was obviously not thought through in any sort of way to make it nice for players. It was like that was an additional level of Dark Souls complexity.
Yeah.
was just playing with friends.
But is
How
there
was- how
another
was-
game
go ahead.
that like when you came up with the topic idea, Shane, what was like? There's something obviously in your mind that you're like, this is what drives me crazy. This is a great example of the kind of thing that drives me crazy in regards to this.
I think what drives me crazy is it seems like there's a lot of developers or publishers, I don't know which, it's probably the publishers generally, but there seems to be a lot of games where they just seem to be trying to force the co-op in, just to have that tick on the box. And like, you don't really get a dedicated single player experience as much anymore, I feel like, because everything's designed around having that co-op partnership with other players, whether that's your friends or whoever.
Well, in that vein, Wildlands is kind of boring on your own. I mean, not talking about the multiplayer, but playing through the map. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's meant to be played with other people if you really want to have fun, because your AI characters are just kind of blah.
I mean, I'd say that's more of it's got tacked on single player.
Right, and that was part of what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Is
I think that was probably the way I should have worded that, but
Well,
it does make the single player feel more tacked on in some cases.
I was thinking when you had brought it up, one of the things that I really thought back to was, and I don't remember which one it was, but the Splinter Cell series had a co-op version that was you'd play with a friend, and it was basically the multiplayer version, but in co-op, and you were up against AI. And I remember feeling like, oh man, this would be cool if it actually had more than like 4 missions for you to do. Like if there was an entire
Conviction?
campaign. Huh? It might have been Conviction.
Yeah.
But I was like, if there was an entire campaign that was designed around multiplayer and not like just 4 or 5 missions, that would have been awesome. But it felt like it was just thrown on there as, oh, you look, this, Splinter Cell finally has co-op. You can play Splinter Cell in co-op, but really it wasn't. It wasn't what you would think it would be.
Yeah. I think that's one of the games. I mean, it was a separate co-op mode, though. It wasn't like integrated into the campaign. It wasn't integrated into the single player, I should say. Because when you was playing Splinter Cell, you didn't run around with a second person, like following you all the way through the game.
No.
was Halo like that, to where you only did partial missions, or was there something?
The first Halo, you were basically just 2 Master Chiefs, except during the cutscenes, obviously. But I think Halo 2, when you had the Arbiter with you, the second player played as the Arbiter.
I guess I'm thinking online. I know Couch Co-op had.
No, I don't think that there was online Halo. I don't think there was online Halo until Halo 3.
Yeah.
I don't think you could play online. I know you definitely
You
couldn't
mean
play
co-op or multiplayer?
Co-op.
or multiplayer. If Halo 1 did
Halo
not
2,
have
Halo 2 you could
online
play multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Online.
Halo 1 didn't. Yeah, it was all... Because I remember us doing like LAN parties, but with Xboxes and playing Halo, the first Halo.
How did Far Cry 4's multiplayer work out? I never got to actually play that.
I only ever played Far Cry 3's co-op, and the co-op itself, it was really tacked on. It was a couple just missions you could play just with friends. So it wasn't really the main game, but the Uplay connection service was so terrible that we played it once and never went back. So I'm not sure.
I think
That hasn't changed much in years.
I think for Far Cry 4, they made it so you couldn't do the story missions, but you could just do like outposts and stuff with your friend in the main campaign. I think. I didn't play the co-op on it.
I always felt like the multiplayer when Call of Duty was coming out was kind of the more tacked on thing at first. And then, now I feel like probably on their end, they're obligatorily making a campaign, but they know they're making their money in the multiplayer. Same thing with Battlefield. It's like, Battlefield. It's like, here's a campaign. This will get you into the game so you can get on the online and spend more money.
Halo Wars also sort of had a tacked on co-op. The only thing I would say is I didn't have a problem with it, but it was basically the co-op was you and another person were playing, but you basically could, because it was an RTS. Imagine if you had 2 people playing an RTS on one computer, but you had separate mouses, separate mice, separate like screens and everything. You could move around and interact with all of the units and everything independently of each other and set up their own groups and everything independently of each other. Me personally, because I love co-op, so I'm probably on the wrong side of this, because in my mind, all games should have co-op. So I don't care if it's tacked on, if it means that you get to play a game with your friends.
But some games feel like it takes away from the experience, though, when you do that. When you just put because I guess because growing up, I played a lot of games single player. And especially into like my teens, there was a lot of games I was playing single player. But I feel like this single player experience became more diluted through having the co-ops just thrown into it. Especially when you're doing with the single player, like with Halo Wars, for example. suddenly you've lost half the control of your base and your units because you got to share them with your co-op friend. And I felt like that was something that wasn't really thought about all that much with some games.
A game I thought that did a surprisingly good job of making like a unique co-op thing was James Bond Everything or Nothing. Did you guys ever play co-op in that?
I did.
Yeah, like
it
had a fully fledged co-op like campaign. This is like I was playing on the GameCube in the early 2000s. Fully fledged co-op campaign you could play with friends in local multiplayer, like unique agents, unique missions. Like it was pretty cool. Me and a friend had a lot of fun going through that. I just remember at the time I totally wasn't used to like real co-op experiences on the GameCube. It was all like PvP stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, I'm trying to think of like examples of really, really tacked on stuff. I think Dark Souls is one of the ones that really stands out to me as just such a bad idea. I mean, I guess there's GTA 4 had that tacked on multiplayer that was, it's crazy how good they made the GTA 5 multiplayer when GTA 4 was like the definition of stupid. Like it was like what, one or two game types in a lobby.
There's only really one or two game modes in GTA 4 that were actually any good. The rest of them were just very basic, just tacked on ones.
Yeah.
I think Everything or Nothing was a good example, though, of a good way to do like a co-op sort of like campaign separate from the regular one. Because I felt like there's not many games that do that.
Because you'd think that like something like GTA, they could have had a co-op throughout the entire campaign, and that wouldn't have been a problem.
They tried it with San Andreas, didn't they? But it was like you had two people on one screen. It was a split screen.
Yeah, two people, they couldn't go off screen with each other. They had to both be on screen at the same time. Like that didn't really make any sense.
I thought that was bizarre. Such a bizarre idea.
Well, that might not have worked, but that was, if you remember the first Lego games, that was the same way. You couldn't go off screen. I mean, Lego's kind of fixed that in basically anything that's come out in the last 5-6 years, where the screen will split. But I mean, the original Lego games, the first Lego, the Star Wars
frustrating.
games, you could not, like, you could get in a position where one person couldn't move anymore because the other person had walked off. You know, I think it was finally by the Indiana Jones ones that they finally fixed it so that it split it off a little bit.
Yeah, I seem to remember that.
Yep. But sorry.
Oh no, I interrupted. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say like somebody had mentioned earlier in one of the chats about couch co-op, and that always makes me think of the Lego games because the Lego games only have couch co-op, which is one of the biggest disappointments about that franchise. I feel like if it had online co-op, that would make the Lego games one of the like best games that anybody could ever spend money on because they're typically very inexpensive. They have a fun story. They're relatively long. There's lots to unlock. There's plenty of time that you can play through, and whether or not somebody's a casual gamer or a more hardcore gamer, they'll get something out of the Lego games.
Now,
go ahead.
Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think one of the hallmarks of what makes a co-op experience really good and worthwhile versus being tacked on is the problem that was in Borderlands 1, where if you want to play with your friends, super easy to hop in and play with friends. Like the whole game revolves around co-op. And honestly, I would say that is a game where I'd say the single player is a little tacked on because it's a lot more fun. It's the same exact experience, but it's a lot more fun.
It's
with
a
other
drag
people.
single player, that game.
It is. It is so grindy. But it wasn't it that one where you had to really carefully watch what level you were at?
Yes.
Like, because if you played missions ahead of your friends, you couldn't really play with them again. Yeah, Borderlands 2, that was one of the biggest things they fixed. Like in Borderlands, I mean, when it first came out, me and some friends in college played through that game in like a week and then played it again several times through, but we could only play it with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that same problem was in The Division, technically, as well. Like, with the leveling up system. You'd have some enemies that are just like way too overpowered compared to the people you're playing with sometimes.
Yeah, it's the Diablo 3 issue. Unless you play through Diablo 3 with, like, you make a new character with somebody that you're going to play through if they're starting at level 1, then it's really not fun. Unless you guys are within a level or two of each other, it's really
Yeah.
not fun for the person either. If the game is set for the lower level character, the higher level character is bored because there's nothing to do. Every creature that comes up to them, they can kill with a hit. If you're the lower level character just getting power leveled by the higher level character, it's mostly just run around, avoid things until you die.
Well, I mean, that was what we did in the Division. Like, you and Dan carried us for a while. Like, this is cool. You know, it's fun playing and everything, but it definitely felt like we weren't really doing what we should, and you were having to do too much. And it wasn't really like we were playing together. It's like we spent more time playing, trying to keep up with each other than actually playing just to have fun, you know?
Yeah, that's why I didn't like, because I don't like being the person on the side that is the lower level. Like, it drives me crazy. And I used to have a friend who's like, "Oh, just play with me, I'll power level you." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's not fun for me." So
Power level is not fun at all.
It's not fun. It's fun. It's fun for the person who's high level. It's not fun for the person.
I don't think it's that fun, honestly. When I've been in that situation, I don't think it's that fun to be the higher level person.
Well, I don't think, this may be a side conversation. I don't think any game is fun where the only purpose of reaching higher levels is so you can fight higher level enemies and then get to levels where you also just have to go up in level because the enemies are also higher level. Like, if that's all you're getting in your level up system, that's completely pointless. Like, that's not really a progression system. It's just a tiny little nugget they're dropping in front of you to keep you playing.
Imagine if you could just pay some extra money and get some bonus like levels or something to catch up with your friends.
Maybe if there was an option you could pay for where you would just be at whatever level everything in the game is all the time and then never have to worry about it, and the level of challenge stays roughly the same.
Or if they made it so everything was just the same level anyway. They did put levels in the game.
It's called gaming before online connectivity. I was going to say, this is a little slightly off topic, I guess, but I love the Knights of the Old Republic games. Like, I love you get to meet a lot of characters and you do a lot of exploration. And, the first two games were amazing. And then they came out with the Old Republic, which is the next step in the series, but it was an MMO.
Yep.
So it was just like, man, I want to play it because I want to, experience all these characters, but I just do not want to get on and play with a bunch of other people. I just wanted to have that same experience that I already had.
Well, that was like the Elder Scrolls Online. I mean, I said to my roommate Chris when we were in college, when I first discovered Oblivion, I had no idea this thing existed. I was like, if they made an online, like an MMO version of Oblivion, my life would be over. That's what I said at the time. Like, imagine we could just play Oblivion together for as long as we wanted. And then the Elder Scrolls Online comes out. It's like, well, that's not quite what I had in mind.
Speaking of the Elder Scrolls Online, it's on the Humble Monthly that launches tomorrow. That comes out tomorrow for this month.
Oh, yeah.
But I already own it, so I'm going to have an extra copy.
Really?
If anybody is interested.
Now, is it free monthly? Like month to month?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got rid of that. That was after the first year, I think they got rid of you pay a single payment now, and you have it for good. Yeah, it originally launched as a month-to-month thing, but then they got rid of it.
Okay. How much is the single monthly or the single payment if you did it from scratch?
$25-$30, I think.
Depends on where you buy it.
Somewhere around that. Yeah, I mean, I think when I bought it, because I bought it a little more than a year ago, right before we moved over here, and I think I got it on sale for $23, $24. You could probably get it for less. I'd have to do some of my magic Dollarwise gamers searching to find out what the prices are at.
Nice self-plug there. Do some of my Dollarwise gamers.
I am
He sneaks it in there everywhere. Oh,
I do whatever I can, man. Got to make that bank.
That's Dollarwise, man.
I don't make any money on YouTube, so
I mean, I don't
literally
really
do not make any money.
Welcome to the club, Justin.
No, I mean, like, I don't even monetize things. So
Oh, okay, all right.
all of my content is because I love my viewers.
Right.
If your viewers loved you, though, they'd appreciate you earning money through your content.
I spent the rest of my YouTube money on Elgato HD 460 or 4K or whatever it's called. I'm gonna have to sell that Vive now.
Oh man, you love the Vive. You were playing it so much.
One of those statements is true. I did really like it. It sucks because I bought all those games for the review, and man, the viewers did not care. Did not. Oh, Vive prices have dropped. It looks like a Vive is going for just over $400 used now.
There's your Elgato.
Yep.
Yeah, so Elder Scrolls Online Imperial Edition is best price ever, $30, but that was back in 2014 on Amazon. There's a little under $20 at Humble Store and GameStop from April of this year. So
I got a website for you, Jeremiah. We'll talk after the podcast.
Just makes it sound so shady.
For what?
To find a good price on that key.
Oh.
G2A.
G2A.
All right.
Oh, God.
You guys have anything else you want to talk about in regards to co-op?
All I would say is I bet you probably can't name a single game that I would agree shouldn't have co-op or wouldn't.
Really?
I don't think would be better with co-op.
All right, listeners, whoever's in the live chat right now, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, youtube.com/casualshenanigans. Yep, that's the name of the channel. What do you guys think? Games
Shower with your dad simulator could be better with co-op.
Could it though?
What about one of those? I don't know the names of any of them. Let me just start up front. The weird
Dating sims.
the weird Steam games that are like, perv
The
on
visual
girls,
novels.
pervert
visual
girl
novels.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would that really be more fun if you had to play that with a friend?
I don't know, because
or is that just your silent shame on
I
Steam?
mean, you do that couch co-op, you're going to need a divider between you.
it could be like the have you played any of the Divinity Original Sin, Divinity
I have
Original
not.
Sin 2?
Yes.
So
little
okay,
bit.
so when you're playing co-op in that game, if you disagree with the person you're playing with, like if you say something but it's counter to what the other person wants to say, then you have a Rochambeau, like a rock paper scissors, to see who wins, like their personality force, like whatever, wins the conversation. So they take the conversation in that direction. So if you're having like a dating sim and you did like, no, I want to say this. No, I want to say this. Okay. So then you have to have some sort of a contest to find out which one you go with. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
I just thought of one. Dang it, I shouldn't launch Steam because I'll start downloading all the games. What's the what was the one that you suggested? It was text based.
Zork, if you want to go way back to Commodore 64.
No, you recently suggested it to
Who,
me.
me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, shoot.
I tried the demo. It was pretty cool.
Oh man, what was it?
I don't know. It was part of one of the Humble Monthly bundles.
Was it it wasn't the programming one,
It might have been.
the one where you have to program?
Well, I don't know if you're part. No, you go up to a computer and it was like basically a text adventure.
Oh, you're talking about yeah. But that one's more than just a text adventure. There's more to it. I don't know how much.
Okay, but how would that work as a co-op?
I don't know how it would work. My argument is that it would be better as a co-op.
Well, would it be better as a co-op?
I don't know how you would make a text adventure co-op. I don't think you could make a text adventure co-op.
You just alternate who presses the key.
I guess.
You press one letter, I'll press the next.
Oh, I just thought of a game that had really tacked on co-op.
All right.
Go for
There
it.
was on the original. I think it was the Xbox 360. It was a Lord of the Rings RPG that had co-op, but
Was
the
it Third
way
Age?
what
Was it Third Age?
Third Age it might have been. It might have been Third Age. Where the way it worked for co-op is like, because you had 3 characters in your group at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
One of the characters would be controlled by the second controller when you did co-op. So like it was all like turn-based combat, like old Final Fantasy type stuff. but the selecting of the menus was all done for one of the characters from the second controller. It didn't make any sense for them to do co-op that way, but they did co-op that way. It's just like to say it had co-op, but really all it was, okay, it's your turn to choose what you're going to have the character do, where you could just hand the controller over.
So someone in Germ Gaming's chat mentioned Super Mario Galaxy had one of the worst co-ops.
How did that work?
It was
yeah.
really bad. So, the main character with the nunchuck and the Wiimote would control the character and everything. Mm-hmm. And the other Wiimote would control like where the little star pointer thing went. So you could like use it to collect stars.
Yeah.
And then shoot
The second
stars.
person is just collecting stars. That's the
That's
little
it.
brother. That's the little brother mode.
Yeah.
That's like they did that in Wind Waker as well with the Game Boy tuner. But if you really wanted to, you could have somebody using the Game Boy Advance plugged in to a Wind Waker,
Really?
and you could have that person finding stuff on the map for you.
So there was another game. Child of Light had co-op as well.
Mm-hmm. Just shine.
Yeah, so the second player could control this little like pixie thing, but you could actually take that pixie over onto enemies and it would stop them from moving, because it was like a turn-based sort of combat type thing. Mm-hmm. So there was, and it could be used to pick things up and stuff like that. That was kind of cool. I liked that one. There's another one that was a sad boy walks right type game, platform game. Mm-hmm. Like Limbo.
Sad boy
walks right. Yeah, that's what I call those games.
That should be an entire genre now.
It is, yeah. Limbo. You've got Inside Out. Not Inside Out. What is it? Inside. It's called Inside. Inside Out is the DreamWorks cartoon. But what happens? Oh man, I've completely lost my train of thought. It's the one. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember what it is. It's a game. It really takes into account the Inuit stories. You have it takes place like in Alaska, but it's focused around the Inuit, and it's got a lot of great story elements to it. But one of the players plays as the like ghost fox type thing, and the other player plays as the little Eskimo kid. I cannot remember the name of it.
Something Alone. I don't know what it's called. No clue. He's looking up Snowman and Kid.
Anyone in chat have any suggestions of games that don't have co-op that Justin thinks would have good co-op here? Now, you think could have a good co-op mode, or like no matter what the co-op would be good? Hellblade should not have co-op.
I don't know, Hellblade.
What about all those
Hellblade's
walking simulators?
Senuous, yeah, because that's kind of what Hellblade is. Hitman, well, no, that'd actually be kind of cool.
Hitman would be cool with
Yeah,
co-op.
You
How
could
about
design
Gravity
a pretty
Rush?
cool one for that.
Gravity Rush seizure simulator if you're doing two people.
I was just thinking, what about Gone Home as a co-op?
Cities
exploring,
Skylines, I think, would be terrible in co-op.
That would be awesome.
He's like the exact opposite of what you just said.
It'd be so much aggravation.
I know, but just imagine how fun that would be.
Imagine, like, that'd be the equivalent of having somebody playing it on controller, but one person's holding one side of it and the other one's holding the other. And you're trying to build stuff at the same time.
Overcooked. Have you played Overcooked?
Yes.
Okay, Overcooked has couch co-op, and you can play with a controller. And you can play up to 4 players with 2 controllers where each side of the controller is controlled by a single person. So like you'd have to like cuddle up around each other and hold a controller between the 2 of you, and 2 of you would control 2 different characters, while another 2 of you controlled another 2 characters. So there'd be 4 characters moving around on screen. And I'm like, that would be amazing to have a group doing that.
So I know we have multiplayer car racing games, but how about just a co-op racing game?
How does that work?
I've seen
one person does the pedals and the other person does the steering.
That's also the little brother mode growing up. When we were doing racing games on our PC, I'd let my little brothers hold the accelerator and then I would work brakes and steering. Of course, doing all with the arrow keys. We're talking back in the day when you couldn't just plug in an Xbox controller and have a good controller. Like, you remember PC gamepad support used to be medium,
Trash.
medium to terrible. Yeah. And so I'd let them just do forward, and it made them happy. So, you know.
There is some games though where I've got co-op racing games, co-op careers in racing games, like Forza Horizon 3 has. Although we never
That's
managed to test that out. I know the Formula One games do.
Agent Deathbat in one of the chats, I think it's yours. Yes, Jeremiah, yours had mentioned about Witcher 3. I think Witcher 3 with co-op would be awesome. I would love to play through Witcher 3 with co-op, but I'm sure that Dave's probably gonna like scream about that.
You're not playing it right. You're not playing it right.
A Witcher game could be fun with co-op, not Geralt's story. He's alone
It'd
on
have
the
to
path,
be built
alone
from the ground up to be co-op and
Yeah.
to feature two characters all the time. Mason P
Yeah.
in the
Oh man. Sorry. Go
CSG
ahead.
chat said
Yeah.
Fallout 4 settlement building co-op.
That would be cool, and any kind
could
of
be
like
fun.
a sim builder or anything would be great as a co-op. I'd love to be able to like.
He also said,
Okay,
SimCity,
listen,
actually.
I'm gonna go try to take care of this issue over here in the city. While can you just go get us some more residential areas? Because God, I'm frustrated with how the residential stuff is going. We just need more. Can you go take care of that? But maybe that's the manager in me. I'm just like, you go sort that. I'm gonna go take care of our poo issue that we've got going on. We're not getting it shipped out of the town fast enough, or whatever the hell is the problem.
I mean, that's
So
kind
I'm
of
gonna
how.
go
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's kind of how we played Command and Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars in college. We kind of were co-oping it. I mean, we're playing like a match against the computer, so I guess it is co-op. But we would each person would just specialize in a different thing they were good at, and then we all just built across each other's base. Do the same thing in Age of Empires. So it's not like I build my empire, you build yours, and then we work together. It's I am walls and like defense, and then another person is like ranged attacks that moves around and handles whatever problem is the worst, and then one person's in the back just turtling the whole time. And when it's time, it's just like 70 tanks. Let's roll, annihilate the enemy.
Hey, Justin, that's what H1Z1 was originally going to be. Where you could build stuff together.
Yeah. You still can't build stuff together. Have you played it since its like biggest update that they had?
When was that?
Was that when it lost its name, or?
Yes, when it went to Just Survive. I've played it since then, and it's okay. Not great for somebody who put like almost 300 hours into that game.
Yeah.
So, but no, I was thinking about when we were growing up, we played the original XCOM series, and we used to play that co-op where like my brother would control. You know, you could take like up to 16 in a ship, but you rarely took that many.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. We used to play, okay, so these 4 characters are yours, my 4 characters are these ones. So when their turn would come up, then we would move our squads like independently of each other. But yeah.
I'd do that in some other games. But it was usually squad games like Desert Storm on the Xbox or Brute Force, stuff like that. Games where you had 4 characters to control, but if you're playing co-op, you could have the second player controlling
some of them.
Yeah, switching between them.
I think XCOM really. I think they should have done a co-op mode. I think both XCOM and XCOM 2 would be better games if there was an option for co-op where you could play through with another person. But I like co-op and everything.
Anything else you guys want to talk about in regards to co-op?
Co-op
games?
solitaire?
All right, yeah, that's
There is co-op solitaire.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
Co-op pinball. That Space Cadet pinball from Windows 7 or Windows XP or whatever. Do that co-op.
Well, you could do left side and right side for pinball. That would be frustrating.
The Sims
Anyway.
co-op would be good too.
I think we're scraping the barrel now.
Somebody mentioned The Sims in the chat, so
Yeah.
All right. It's now time for What Are You Playing This Week? A part of the show where we talk about what we've been playing this week. Let's go right into Ghost Recon Wildlands Ghost War PvP. So Ghosty, Ghost is in the name twice.
No,
You
You can see right through them.
I mean, they should just put a slash in between instead of putting the dash. Just put a slash because it technically is two separate games. The way
Yeah.
they treat it.
All right, so week 3 or 4 at this point. How we liking it? How we feeling?
It's still fantastic. Man, people are leveling up so fast. Like people have got to be putting hundreds of hours in at this point, which is insane to me.
Well, can't you
using
get
a
a
boost.
bonus?
Yeah,
Can't
but
you
it's
use
only
a-
like
get a boost?
25%.
Yeah, I mean,
So if
it'll
you-
get you there faster, but you still have. It's like saying you take steroids and all of a sudden you look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like, no, I just let you do the work quicker, but like somebody's still putting in the work.
And like it activates once on the day, and it just carries on all the way through the day, through the 24 hours, regardless if you're playing or not. I think.
unless you buy it.
That's a way of convincing you to. If that's the case, that's a way of just making you play more because you don't want to lose your bonus.
Yeah. I think since they did the update, it's actually starting to get a bit unstable. The game.
Yeah, it was a little rough last night.
Like the past
There
couple
was
of
a
times
lot of
we
rough
played.
last night.
Yeah, like past couple of times we played, the servers have been like dying, or well, servers I should say. It's peer-to-peer connection, but for whatever reason, it's been kicking loads of people out of the game all at once on several occasions. And there's a lot of like weird bugs, like a desync bug, James, that you've had before, and Mikey had last night as well, where it would just make you'd be invisible on your screen, but you'd be stood in position on someone else's screen, or in a certain position on someone else's
Yeah,
screen.
he thought he was like all the way on the other side of the map and getting ready to. He's like lining up shots. He's like, all right, I'm going to shoot him. It's like way off.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's not going to work.
But it just seems to be more apparent since they did that update. They're supposed to add, like, I guess it was some sort of ranked, skill-based matchmaking, I should say. I think it was supposed to add. And ever since then, it's just been a bit shaky and weird, the game. It's still fun, but it's definitely become unstable.
Well, so I mean, some of that stuff is like what happened to me. I think happened before the update. So I think it was just a bad desync.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm still liking it. I'd say the classes feel, I don't know if they feel unbalanced or they're just some of them aren't that useful and people gravitate to all the same ones. It seems like the assassin and snipers and the scouts and mortars are pretty much what most people play if they've got it.
I think
There's a little imbalance.
a little imbalance. I think the diversionist becomes completely useless after people have played the game for a little bit. Like the one that can put the little drone out that makes noise. That I just think that becomes useless after people realize it plays the exact same sound over and over again, and like it doesn't do anything different. It's not like it makes like different gun sounds or any other variety of noises. It just does the same submachine gun sound over and over again. So once you hear that, you just don't really pay attention to it anymore. And it can't mark people.
So I only got to play a little bit of Mario
Oh,
Odyssey.
yeah. How do you like it?
It looks really good. Kids play a little bit more than I did, but looks nice.
I know Joel's really liking it. I'm sure he'll talk about it when he's back on.
Yeah, so everybody will know, I got a flu shot last weekend, and it was like Friday afternoon, and it was really sore during the day and a little bit at night, and then the next day I just felt kind of crappy, like I just felt kind of run down, and by the afternoon I had like a full-blown fever, and that lasted most of Saturday, and then Sunday I still felt kind of like crap, and now it's just been like really itchy. So Mario came out and I literally just didn't touch it because I didn't feel like playing anything that weekend, other than a little bit of Wildlands that I played.
A little bit. I know Amelia's been enjoying Mario since it came out. I think she's close to beating it.
Oh, wow.
She's put a ton of time into it.
I need to talk to you sometime about the Dollarwise, because I've always had this similar philosophy about, dollar per hour of entertainment. And, when you throw kids in the mix, you're multiplying those, so I was looking at, buying when I was buying Mario, and Nintendo games never drop in price unless they do like much, much later, their player's choice or whatever they want to call it at the time. And so I usually pay full price because it's never going to drop. But also now it's just like I might get 20 hours out of it, but my kids are going to get 20 hours each or whatever. So it like triples the value of games.
Mm-hmm. Do they have used versions?
I mean, I'm sure it'll be probably next week is when you'll start seeing the used ones.
Oh,
Usually,
okay, I see. Yeah.
With Nintendo games, you usually see used versions, but they're not usually that far away from the new price.
From the
in my
original
experience.
price, yeah. Yeah, I just recently saw an article about GameStop's doing a thing where you pay a monthly fee and get access to as many pre-owned games or something.
I actually like that idea.
Well, let's just hit that news item real quick.
Oh, is that one of the news items?
GameStop has announced Play Pass, $60 for 6-month used rentals. Keep a game at the end. This new service, according to MyNintendoNews.com, allows you to rent used games from the company for 6 months for $60. At the end of your rental period, you can keep your last game. So pretty much you go in and get any used game, and then you just take it back and swap it out as much as you want, and then you keep one.
Do that until the company goes out of business.
And then you have to pay another $60 6 months from now. Yeah. So does this seem like the death throes of a store trying to stay relevant?
That sounds like it to me.
100%. 100%.
I don't see how they're going to make money doing that.
No.
This reminds me so much of what Blockbuster was trying to do, as they were late to the game with Netflix and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I think I know how they're going to make money. I think their sales are dropping enough. They're not making money off of these people anyway. So if it's used games, people just have to bring it back and it just churns the system. They're pretty much running a rental service while they allow people to buy games from them,
Pretty much.
They're pretty much, they're allowing people to rent the games that they're also selling. So, they're not going to run out of used games or anything.
Yeah,
Well,
but if you do it in such a way. So I pick whatever game first for a few months, and I play whatever I feel like playing. For the last game that I get the most expensive game, or the one that holds the most value. So if it's like a Nintendo game or something that just tends to stay in the $50 range, they're not making anything off that sale either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Blockbuster did the same sort of thing where you paid a monthly fee, somewhere around $10 to $15 a month, I think, and you could take in a game and swap it out. And I mean, it was just it never worked for Blockbuster because they might have 5 types of one game, and if it's a popular game, like you're lucky if you get it.
Right.
I don't know how GameStop will deal with
GameStop
it. But
hopefully has a lot more copies of games.
I mean,
I mean, the biggest problem is that the gaming, I don't know, conglomeration, all of them just they hated the idea of these resellable things because that was, oh well, why can't we get money twice on a game? Other games can do it by having people buy upgrade packs and loot boxes and all that stuff. So why not we be able to get some money back on a sold game, even though we got our money the first time it was sold? So they really launched all these kinds of things of like pre-order bonuses and map packs and codes that could never be redeemed again in games. So to really just limit GameStop's resellability of games, and they kind of just drove the company into what the company is now.
I think I would consider this to be just a loss leader. So they're thinking they want you in and out of the store more often, so you're more likely to buy other things not necessarily related to this. If I was going to make some guesses, like
I think that's how it works.
I mean, they moved a lot more towards collectibles in this last several months. Like, I mean, they've always had sections of collectibles, but now they're, they've got like whole racks of hats and all kinds of stuffed animals. I mean, it's basically like Think Geek Light.
Gaming merch. The next thing that they'll have to do is those like not gaming loot boxes, but like loot boxes where you pay a monthly subscription and get something through the mail.
Like Loot Crate and stuff like that.
Loot Crate, yeah.
Well, we're just waiting until they start doing loot boxes like G2A do now.
Yeah.
Anyone want to talk about anything else you've been playing this week, in particular?
I've been playing Wolfenstein 2.
How was that?
It's pretty great. I put, I think, 7 hours into it so far. And
Nice.
been playing on, like, the highest difficulty I can.
Of course
And
you have.
It's been a lot of fun. Like, it's very fast-paced. Like, it's not as fast-paced as Doom was, but it is a good, like, fast pace to it when you're doing the fighting sections. And I've been enjoying the general story to it,
Alright.
exploring the levels.
A couple of weeks ago, I finished, because last month's Humble Monthly had Rise of the Tomb Raider in it, so I decided to play through that. Played through that game all the way through to the end.
And then quit.
And then quit.
I got to the end and I'm done.
That it was over.
I'm not going to finish.
No, I finished it. It was
Wait,
okay.
Jeremiah, did you ever beat Doom?
No.
No, we never did.
Well, because the save game stuff, bro, I tried twice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through it at some point. It's just I have played a full playthrough worth of Doom. I just haven't done it all in a row.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Well, how many playthroughs do you play of a Dark Souls game versus somebody who's good who can play through it in a matter of hours?
Well, wouldn't it be nice right now if Doom was co-op? You could be like, Justin, you really haven't played much Doom. Why don't you and I play through it together? And then we would never be able to get our
There is a co-op mode
times
on the
to
game.
sync up. Not real co-op to play through the game,
That's,
like the whole game.
yeah, but it's a co-op mode.
It's a tacked on co-op mode.
I think it's more tacked on to just put on more players in a single player.
Aside from that, I've been playing Hellion every once in a while, and then Wildlands. I'm just trying to pick through the main game to try to just get more stuff and actually play through the actual campaign.
I need to do more
Mostly
of that.
because none of my friends are awake or around or can play when I want to play the PvP mode. So
I'm sorry, Justin.
You live in the wrong country.
you didn't choose to live in this country. I did.
Shane lives there. What's your
Yeah.
But he didn't
excuse?
choose. He didn't choose to live here. He was just born here.
We didn't land on Plymouth
It's not an
Rock.
excuse. I've been playing Metro Last Light as well. I just started it for the first time.
Oh, really?
I've been really enjoying it, actually. I played it for about 4 hours on stream the other night. And
There's this. I was
Go on,
going to say
Justin.
there's a sale. I was going to say there's a sale for, like, I think the whole Metro series right now on Bundle Stars. Let me check while you're talking.
What's it called?
BundleStars.com?
Is it Bundle Stars?
I thought
I
it
think
changed the
so.
name of it.
It's
Oh,
called-
no, maybe it's... No, Bundle... What's it called? Bundle something. I don't know. You talk.
It was Bundle Stars,
But yeah, like
but now it's Fanatical.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Bundle
right.
Star sounded just so legitimate, though, didn't it? Really. I'd never played it. Like, I played the original one when that came out in 360, and I just never sat down and played Last Light, and just decided to. I've just been really enjoying it, enjoying the atmosphere, and just a single player experience of it.
Do you think that'll excite you for the new game? Which
I think so.
To me, looks really good.
I mean, I really enjoyed the first game, and I'm really enjoying this one now. I think the third one's going to be excellent, unless it just goes on full on open world and becomes too big, I guess. Like a lot of games with tacked on open world. That'd be my worry for it.
I also just recently installed Warframe,
Really?
Oh, have you?
Huh?
Have you?
Yes.
We're losing you.
No, to try that game. I don't know. It seemed okay. It's definitely a game I'd rather play with somebody than by myself. So
Hint,
I
hint.
don't know if. And it's free to play. So Dollarwise.
Is it playable at a time of day where we're available? Or?
Sure. It's always on. You can play it any time. Not like the servers turn off.
Justin
Not
switches
my
out the
fault if
servers
you-
every single time he goes on it. Then the world
It's not
can
my
play.
fault that you don't want to be a good enough friend to me to, get up super early or, I always stay up late every Monday night.
We can't even get Jeremiah to do one more match.
No.
So
Oh,
good luck with
oh my
that,
gosh.
Justin.
There's always one more match.
Uno mas.
Uno más?
Uno mas.
I need to play more Alien Isolation because I started playing that earlier last month in October, and I really like it. I've been streaming through it, and because I like those kinds of games because I don't freak out as much because I pay attention a lot more to the game mechanics, and so it's more just like, oh, I'm gonna walk over here, and either I'm gonna make it or I'm not because I can only walk so fast.
So it's not like me on Stalker where every single thing that moves in the game makes me feel like I'm going to die of a heart attack.
Oh, Shane's pee bucket.
No, mostly for the alien thing, I'll like walk around the corner and be like, oh, hello, there's the alien. Okay, so I'll just step back. Either he saw me or he didn't see me. If he did see me, then I'm dead. If he didn't see me, then okay, maybe I'm good.
It's now time for the rest of the news. The part of the show where we talk about. Sorry,
Oh, I was going to. Rest of the news time. Dun, dun, dun.
that's pretty good.
I know.
Our next news item is okay, so we did the GameStop Play Pass. The Xbox One X confirmed on Twitter will support native 1440p output.
Oh, that's good.
So 1080p, 1440p, and 4K output depending on what screen you connect to. Now that doesn't mean games will render automatically at 1440p unless the game was going to render at that anyway. It just means that in like with the PlayStation 4 Pro, if you connect to a 1440p monitor, it'll only display a 1080p picture. Yeah. And well, in the PS4 Pro, when it first came out, would also only display, when it came out, it worked briefly at 4K 30 hertz on HDMI, over HDMI on monitors that didn't support it. Well, like my monitor supports 4K 60 and G-Sync over DisplayPort, not HDMI, because when it came out, HDMI didn't support that. So, but I can't plug my PS4 Pro into my monitor and play at 4K. I can only play at 1080p because a patch took away the ability to play at 4K 30 hertz, which is stupid because there's like one game that plays at 4K 60 on the PS4 Pro. So I'm hoping the X1 X can do 30 hertz 4K because that way I could have it in my office plugged into my computer or my computer monitor a little easier. But that's cool. So the Xbox One X, the hardware supports FreeSync as well.
Oh,
Now games would have to support it, but
Is the One X doing like the super sampling type of stuff for when it's displaying in 4K, where it's actually outputting at 1440 or 1080, but it's just displaying in 4K?
Well, I've heard it does that.
For some games, others, it's going to have more native 4K games in the PS4 Pro for sure. It's quite a bit more powerful. But yes, it will be doing upscaling of various types for other stuff. Next bit of news, Super Mario Odyssey has become Nintendo's fastest selling Super Mario game in the US. It sold more than 1.1 million units alone, like in the US alone, which is incredible considering there's been 3 million Switches sold in the US, 2 million, 3 million Switches, 5 million worldwide. Like it looks like about half of people in the US buying a Switch bought Super Mario Odyssey in a week. That's pretty cool. Next bit of news, LA Noire is coming to the Switch, which is a bit of a weird choice, but it's coming to the Switch, but it does not fit on a Switch. You'll need a micro SD card to install and play it, and you'll also have to download a 14 gig required file, which includes gameplay data and a day one patch. So the digital version is 29 gigs. The Switch comes with 32 gigs, but you need 6.2 gigs for the system itself. So there's literally no way you can, you don't have to buy a micro SD card. Micro SD cards are cheap. That's not like the end of the world, but
It's just a bit silly.
Yeah. Yep.
It is an additional cost.
Although apparently people say Rockstar could have just shipped the game on a 32 gig cartridge, but they saved cost by putting on a 16 gig cartridge. So passing the savings on to you.
Why? I mean, it just makes more sense to me just to put it on a 32 gig, but I guess I'm not a businessman.
Yeah, it makes sense to you to spend more money. Why? When the customer could spend more money.
For the 5 people that are going to buy it on the Switch.
I think Mario was 5.7 gigs, something just
That's
significantly
wild.
smaller.
All right, Justin, I think you have a news item.
Yeah, because you guys have been talking about loot boxes a lot, so
Have
I
we?
was.
It's come
No,
up.
it's come up a few times. So I had seen as I was scrolling through my Facebook feed, this company I don't even know, Phoenix Labs, and this game Dauntless. I've never heard of it before, but it's a co-op action RPG that's coming to PC, and it's currently in early access. So if it's an early access game, then obviously suddenly I'm interested in it. But they did have a loot box system, but they're getting rid of it because they don't feel that the loot box system puts gamers first, puts players first.
Really?
And so they're going with a more similar to things like Warframe or Path of Exile, where as opposed to you pay for a key to unlock a box where you'd randomly get something, potentially have a chance of getting some special thing, you say, okay, I'm going to buy this pack that comes with all of the things for $7.99, and it comes with all this stuff because I really want these skins, or I really want this weapon set, or whatever it is. So as opposed to, okay, you only pay $1 for a loot crate that might have what you want. It's got one of possibly these things that you want. You just pay more for something, and it might have things in it you don't want, but it definitely has the thing that you do want.
Speaking of loot boxes, didn't Battlefront change a little bit of their loot box system?
Slightly.
beta.
Yeah, very
But-
slightly.
But on that note, quote from EA CEO Andrew Wilson, loot boxes, they say, are a conversation not specific to Battlefront 2, and they say that the feedback from the beta was very positive. Oh boy, you know what that means.
Well, I mean, what they basically did with the loot boxes was they did the worst thing they could, and then they're like pulling it back a little bit as if to say, we didn't mean to do it that badly. We only meant to do it a slight amount.
That's what every company should do. They should always create the worst case scenario and then pull it back, so you'll appreciate their honest effort to listen to fans.
Appreciate
And
what they're doing for you by bringing the loot boxes back a tiny bit. We're doing you a favor for buying our game.
On that note, though, no, you don't know where this is going. So I've been playing Middle-earth: Shadow of War, and I did get my first legendary sword drop from an enemy, and I was like, where have I seen this before? Back out to the menu, and you can buy crates, of course. They keep it pretty reserved in the menu, but I can use in-game currency, which I have plenty of at the moment, to buy crates, and some of them do guarantee a legendary item will be in there. So I guess I don't know how legendary that is at that point, but so tomorrow I think I might buy some legendary crates using my in-game currency and see how it goes. But
How long till you buy a little out-of-game currency?
I don't think that's going to happen. Honestly, that wouldn't happen because of laziness more than anything else.
Or you could
I'd
just
have
get a mod that removes loot boxes altogether, or the cheat engine that makes it save unlimited money in game.
Well, I'm playing the Steam version. I don't think I'd want to use a cheat engine to get around anything just in case. But
Does it play online?
you have to
there
be
is a-
online all the time.
There is an online mode on it as well. Well, semi-online.
I mean, I think it's you just have to be online. I think that's the mode. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure. I've not played it.
But anyway, it's still a fun game, though. I am enjoying it well enough. I don't think I'm probably not going to finish it. The story it's decent. Combat's decent. Everything like it's good. I don't think it's like the 9 that lots of reviewers are giving it or gave it. I mean, I think it's a good game. It's not an insanely awesome game. Combat gets a little repetitive after a while. It's not that hard. And the story is, pretty standard fantasy. Got to get the thing. Where's the MacGuffin? So if you really like Lord of the Rings, maybe you'd really love it. I like Lord of the Rings, and I think it's decently fun. So
I've not even
any
played
other-
the first one yet.
well, it's cheap now.
I own it. I just haven't played it.
Okay. Any other news items you guys want to talk about?
I put the thing on there about Survive the Nights, but I don't know if anybody really cares about that.
Well, why don't you tell us about it, Justin? We care about things you care
Maybe
about.
we will care about if you tell us.
Or
Well,
maybe
it's
after
an early
we hearing
access.
about it.
It's an early access zombie survival game. 'Cause
Oh,
those always
cool.
work out.
Well, see ya.
No, honestly, I there's part of me because I buy a lot of stuff on Humble Bundle. If you didn't know, and I kind of got tricked into getting this because I knew that I had seen information about Survive the Nights, and so I was on there buying some stuff, and they had a sale going on for it, and I misread it as I thought I was buying into the early access because I play a lot of early access games. But I wasn't. I was actually pre-ordering. I was basically giving backer status. I was pre-ordering early access is what I was doing. I didn't realize.
Pre-ordering early access.
Wow.
Is basically what you were doing. So you were doing backer status basically. So it would be like if you put money into, when
Kickstarter.
Yeah, like a Kickstarter or something where eventually the game's going to come out and you're a backer, so you get to play the alpha, you get to play the beta, that type of stuff before other people. But you also, not that this I really even care about this, but you get like on their forums and stuff, you get a badge that says that you're a backer, and I really couldn't care less because I'm never on the forums.
Like I just wanted the game. Come on.
I know. But anyway, I got it, and anytime you've ever asked, because you can talk to the people who are creating it in their Discord, but anytime anybody would ask them, when's it coming, because they've been talking about it coming, but since like March, anytime you would ask them, they'd say soon. And now they're finally saying it's going to come out in November, which is nice. I think I can't remember who. I think it's Mikey in the Casual Shenanigans group that is also interested in the game.
Well, Mike will
that's
buy
got
anything, so
Yeah. Well. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty interested just because it's an early access zombie survival game. The other one that I've been watching is Dead Matter. Looks pretty good.
What is unique about this one?
Nothing. It's just
He's just trying to recapture that lightning
I
in a
just
bottle.
like zombie survival games.
I think I want to say it was a mod at some point on the DayZ mod. Survive the
What's that?
Nights.
Survive the Nights?
Yeah, or some sort
Yeah.
of variation of it. I don't remember exactly.
I mean, that's a pretty generic name.
How are you
Well, I
supposed to
mean-
name a zombie game now? All the good names were taken a long time ago, and there's also names like DayZ. So
Well, there's Warzy. It's the best name now.
man.
Infestation Survivor Stories.
Yeah.
Did you-
I mean, I've been a big fan of early access zombie survival games for a long time. One of these days, one will release.
no, I maintain it. The whole genre is going to be dead by the time a main one, not like some tiny little obscure, indie one, but by the time a main one actually releases, the genre will be completely dead.
I could see that. Unfortunately.
I don't know if it's unfortunate. I mean, I've put hundreds of hours into the genre, and I'm probably never going back. So I don't. What more?
Yeah,
are we
but
gonna get out of
wouldn't
a
you
released
wouldn't you have
version?
wanted to play one that was completed? Like,
Yeah, but again, that ship has sailed. Like bygones
know.
are bygones, man. It's over. It's
yeah,
not
but
coming back.
maybe there's a new generation waiting to play
That's true.
that won't get to deal with the stuff we dealt with.
That's true.
All those fun glitches and bugs and various server problems.
That's the problem. For the community to be good, the game has to be fairly recent, and then if it's fairly recent, it won't be finished.
Yeah.
Like, by the time the games are finished, no one will want to play them.
Andre in the Casual Shenanigans chat had said, what game would you most like to see come to Nintendo Switch that would convince you to buy one?
Ooh.
Arma 4.
That's a pretty good question. Arma 4.
What would convince me to buy one?
F-Zero, new one.
And that's a very possible one, too.
I'd buy one at an instant if there was a new F-Zero game coming.
Oh man, if they had a Pokemon game for it, I would totally buy it.
Oh,
They've
I'm
got
sure
one
there'll be
coming.
one of those.
I think.
Just joking. I thought that there probably was one already.
There is. It's the one from the Wii U.
If they had a Total War style game that was asynchronous multiplayer, like a turn-based good multiplayer game, so I could pick it up, play, send a move to a friend, they pick it up, play when they have a chance,
that'd be cool.
I would really enjoy that. That's not
That
a
would work
specific
really well.
game.
You could do stuff with the touchscreen too with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That doesn't really answer his question, though, because that's not like an existing game. I mean, it's easy to be like The Witcher 3, the normal stuff that everybody goes for.
Mine was Zelda when I bought mine when it first came out.
Well, you've had a good year, haven't you?
See, I don't think that there's anything in particular that would get me to buy a Nintendo Switch. Not that I don't like Nintendo Switches. I just, if I want to play a game, I'd rather play it on my PC.
Yeah, same here. It's no matter what games are available on the Switch, I just don't see myself most of the time wanting to play games in that way. I see some of the appeal of laying on the couch playing one. I don't like little screens, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I could enjoy a lot of games on a Switch. I'm sure I could if they ran decently well. But I don't know if I would enjoy them really that much more than playing them some other way. If I flew all the time for work or something, excuse
Somebody's
me.
tired.
If I flew all the time for work or something, I'd probably be more interested.
You could set it up in the airplane and take the controllers off and play Skyrim.
Well, I'll be able to do that anyway, except I
Just like the promotional material showed.
Oh, they were showing Skyrim off so long for that, and then it didn't come out until it was fairly recently, wasn't it?
I don't think is Skyrim out on the Switch now.
Wait, is it?
I don't think it is yet.
No, nothing to think about. I don't think it is out.
It kept being in all promotional shots, and they kept announcing it over
it comes
and
out
over.
on the 17th.
They
What
kept-
kind of
It's so
battery power does the Nintendo Switch have?
Lithium ion. I'm just
No,
kidding.
I mean, how good is it? In my mind, I think to myself, if I play games, say I play the games that I play on my mobile device is Plants vs. Zombies 2. Actually, honestly, that's probably all I really play anymore on that thing. But if I play it, it eats through the battery so fast. I would just think that the Nintendo Switch was the same way.
The battery's decent, but it's hours. It's a few hours.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I would think
4
2
or
to
5
3
hours,
hours.
isn't it?
Oh, okay.
And it's USB-C chargeable.
Yeah.
So you could use, if you're on an airplane or something, you could use
Yeah.
a USB
charge
port
it.
charge it. I think the game that would cause people to buy the Switch is something like World of Warcraft. That they could take that everywhere with them.
People would never come off that game if they did that.
Yeah. But they could go see sunshine. I mean, they wouldn't see with their eyes, but their body would feel the sunshine.
The Nintendo Switch doesn't have 3G, right? Or it doesn't have
No, it
3G
doesn't.
or 4G. It can
No,
connect with
but you can go to McDonald's or
Yeah,
go
Yeah,
to
get to-
hotspots,
Starbucks or something.
I don't
or
know
you
how
could
fast
get
their internet
use a
would be.
hotspot off your phone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, anything else
Good
you guys want to
question,
talk
though.
about this evening?
Yep.
Or any other questions in chat? Guess we could vamp for a minute or two, let other questions come through chat if anyone has them.
No
What'd
mail
you
this
do?
week.
No mail. Well, actually, we got a very long piece of mail, so the person who wrote it in is probably wondering why haven't you read my mail yet. We're going to wait till Joel is on the show before we read it because it was directed towards him. It's about Star Wars stuff. And then we also have a special video to play on a soon future podcast. But it also concerns Joel. So
On a soon.
Did you want to talk about what's going on this month?
what with Dave and Joel and everything?
And you?
Thanksgiving.
And you.
Oh yeah, all right. So yeah, man, we should listen to the top of the show. All right, there'll be no podcast next week. There probably won't be one the week after that because I'm gonna be in Iceland for 2 weeks, and I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say the other guys are not gonna want to do all this on their own, including the post production, and that's okay. I'm the one who enjoys that part. James and
I do it for a living. I don't want to do it.
we're gonna do a casual conversation. Are we gonna try to do one of those?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to have at least one warm-up compilation coming out while I'm gone too. Although I might need one of you guys to just upload the audio file to Libsyn because I don't think I can schedule those. I think you have to do that live.
You can schedule on Libsyn.
You can?
You can tell it to release later. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. All right. I'll have to do that and then I can schedule them on YouTube as well. So I'll try to get some content coming out on the Casual Shenanigans channel for the next 2 weeks. But Dave right now is in California for
3 weeks. 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Thanksgiving's coming up too.
Oh, all right,
man.
all right, that week maybe we'll have to do like an episode earlier in the week or something.
Yeah.
Like, you can't 3 weeks in a row. You can't do that. Maybe we just toss Justin the stream key.
Let me do
He
whatever I
invites all
want.
of his friends into the channel.
So I'm playing this early access game. Like, bye-bye subscribers.
this game called Just Survive.
Yeah, Joel's on vacation right now, and Dave has several big boy YouTuber travel things going on this month because he's a big deal.
He got the check mark and he started getting the checks.
Big fish.
Yeah, that's everything that's going on this month. So we're a little bit of a hectic month leading into Thanksgiving, but we're gonna give you some content because that's what's important is getting that good content out. So we'll do that.
Are we still doing Arma?
I will not be doing Arma this coming Monday. I don't think Dave is either. Shane's here, but that's up to Shane whether or not he wants to run all that on his own with no help.
The server is on or not. If it's not, nope.
I think you should be home, just not available.
Okay.
We might have to just do
We'll see.
Wildlands.
We'll see how it goes.
What?
I said we
What was
might
that
just have
word?
to do Wildlands instead.
Wildlands, you say?
James is interested. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming out and being part of the show. As always, you can write into casualshenanigans@gmail.com to be a part of the show, just like many other people have. You can also tweet at casualshenaniga. You can, Germ Gaming is mine, twitch.tv/jwolf8200. That's also on YouTube. Is that correct?
Yeah, youtube.com/Dollarwise Gamers.
And Shane,
Yes.
where do people go find your XCOM content?
And Stalker and Fallout.
They can go and just put youtube.com/ultragrunt and it just does it now because
Not the X Ultra.
that's
That's his Twitch, isn't it?
That's the channel. You know, when you first make the channel, I couldn't get my original name because that original name got like taken down. So I've not been able to use that. So I had to put an X in there as a space.
Oh yeah.
But now it just like redirects. So
Nice. All right, well, thank you guys for coming out and being part of the show. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and listening. Thanks, everyone who comes out to the live chats. It's fun to hang out with you guys. Write in and let us know what games do you think really would not have a good co-op experience no matter what, and then we will let Justin explain to us why we're wrong, and it would be a fantastic idea. And then also... would anybody be interested in having the live chat overlaid into the videos that go up on YouTube later so you feel like you're hanging out with the chat, or is that just a dumb feature? Because now with Restream, it looks like I could easily add that back in, so if people are interested, I might do that. But for now, thank you for everybody for coming out and being part of the show. As always, and until next time, stay casual.